Hello, it's Big Cheds, and this is part of the Trading Encyclopedia Daily Education series on my YouTube at Cheds Trading. Find me on Twitter at Big Cheds and Bitcoin Live, where I'm a founding analyst. For today's lesson, we're going to talk about the VWAP, or the Volume Weighted Average Price. VWAP is really interesting. A lot of traders use this to get a sense of what the average or real value of the price, right? It basically takes all of the shares or coins transacted and it averages out with the amount of volume. So if there was like 1 million shares at $10, but 2 shares at $20, the VWAP is going to be right at $10. It's going to average out where the action happened. I'll show you a couple images and I'm going to talk you through it on TradingView, but here's the VWAP as an example, right? And so institutions use VWAP a lot. Their goal is to buy near the VWAP or maybe just below to get a little bit of a discount because that's the average price of where the market has transacted it. Now, technically, let me show you where it is first. You go to TradingView, you go to Indicators, you go to Technicals, and you can scroll down for Volume Weighted Average Price. There it is right there. Now, I have it up. And I have one moving average, a simple moving average, the MA50 as comparison. So the difference between like a VWAP and an MA50, the MA50 here is just the average price over 50 candles, okay, on a candle closing basis. The VWAP is where all the shares were throughout the session. And it takes not just the close, but you go to VWAP, and you go to the input style, it's high, low, and close divided by 3. That's the default. There's other ways you can play with VWAP. There's a lot of different things you can do with VWAP. Many oscillators, in fact, that people use actually have VWAP in their calculation, in their formula. So here's a couple examples, right? So in theory, when the price is above and a rising VWAP, you have a bullish market. When the price is below a falling VWAP, you have a bearish market. And really, just price below the VWAP is bearish, price above it is bullish. You can use, a crossing as an entry signal. You can use, crossing above. You can use crossing below as a selling signal. In theory, the VWAP should be support. Now, of course, you want to use this in concert or confluence with other things. Here's an example where you're using like a crossing signal and using like a MACD. You want to use something else to give you a little bit more information. But very simply, the VWAP is the average price adjusted by volume. Volume is very important. It tells you where the action is, where the buyers and sellers are, where the demand and supply are. And you can experiment with VWAP. You can experiment with different inputs. You can do different things. But the idea is that it should be support. You can use a crossing of it as a buy or a sell signal. And price above it is bullish momentum. Price below it is bearish momentum. This is the VWAP, or the Volume Weighted Average Price. And this is for the Trading Encyclopedia Daily Education series on my YouTube at Cheds Trading. Find me on Twitter at Big Cheds and Bitcoin Live, where I'm a founding analyst. Folks, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Big Cheds out.